what about second breakfast?
Time for second breakfast.
What's up, everybody? I am Monster from Breakdowns for Breakfast. And on this episode, we're going to go back to episode 2 of Breakdowns for Breakfast when we discussed the Pulse Ultra album, Headspace. Now, in retrospect, I should have argued with Danger a little bit more on this one because this is a great album. If you like alternative metal, if you like new metal, this is a cool album. But if you want to hear our discussion on that, there's an episode on it. But, you know, like I did for the Finch second breakfast, I got some cool stuff that I didn't mention on the show that I thought might be entertaining and interesting to some of our listeners. So I don't know that we said this or not, but Pulse Ultra is a Canadian band, and their album Headspace came out July 16th, 2002. Now, what's interesting is they were signed to Atlantic Records. Now, we've talked about this on previous episodes. When a genre is popular, big record labels will go out of their way to sign bands that they think fit into that umbrella. Pulse Ultra is a little bit weird, but they were more or less new metal. They kind of got picked, like, the way they broke is one of the guys from Taproot happened to hear them and really liked it, and they were signed to Atlantic Records at the time, so they passed on, you know, the demo or whatever, and that's how they got signed. But just like a lot of other bands, and a lot of bands that we have discussed or will discuss on our show, they didn't sell very well. So they only did the one album. Now, something I also don't think we went through the band lineup. I know we talked a lot about Dominic Cifarelli. He was their guitar player. But also in the band, you had Zoe Vizza on vocals, Jeff Feldman on bass, and Max Zeno on drums. Those are all pretty interesting names. They are from Montreal, Canada, so perhaps those are French names. They don't sound like any French names I've ever heard, but hey, who knows? And we talked a lot about Dominic Cifarelli, and seems like he was sort of the driving force behind the band, definitely musically. But Zoe, man, he's got a cool voice, and it's very unique. It is a little bit on the higher sort of nasally, but it still has power, which is real interesting. So after Headspace came out, didn't do super well. They toured, they did all that. And then in early 2004, they got back together to work on a new album. Unfortunately, it just, there was tension in the band. Zoe ended up quitting the band. And so they held an audition for a new lead vocalist. And they got this guy named Lucas Rossi. Now, I didn't know who this was, but interesting, he won CBS's show Rockstar Supernova, and he was the lead singer of this whatever super group thing that CBS put together. But from what I understand, the audition didn't go anywhere, and the band fizzled out shortly thereafter. Now, we mentioned Dominic Cifarelli's other projects, and since recording that episode, I've gone back and listened to the Chronicles of Israfel. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's pretty good. It's not my thing necessarily, but it is probably worth checking out. I think Dominic Cifarelli is an incredible guitar player, and it's really cool to hear him do some other stuff. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of like really cool stories or anything about Pulse Ultra from this time, but a couple things I did want to throw out there. They played the OzzFest from 2002 when Headspace, their album, came out, and I just wanted to read the lineup for OzzFest 2002 because this reads like a monster fantasy dream. But so I'll start with the main stage. I'll start from the bottom to the headliner. So Tommy Lee, Black Label Society, Edema, Drowning Pool, POD, Rob Zombie, System of a Down, and then, of course, Ozzy Osbourne. Now, some of these bands didn't play every show, but those were obviously Edema, huge fan. POD, I've seen them live a few times. Pretty cool. I like a lot of POD. Rob Zombie, I've seen him live twice. Great. So a lot of cool stuff there. And so then here's the second stage. You had Seether, Mushroomhead, Chevelle, Neurotica, Apex Theory, Lost Prophets, OTEP, Switched, The Used, Glassjaw, Andrew WK, Il Nino, Pulse Ultra, Third Strike, Flaw, Soil, Meshuggah, Hatebreed, and Down. That's brutal. But, 2002, whole lot of new metal there. I've mentioned them on the show before. Il Nino, really big fan of theirs. Flaw, at time of recording this, I'm actually going to go see Flaw in a couple weeks. I saw them once back in 2011. My band at the time, Death Proof, was actually opening for them, so it was cool to do that. It'll be fun to see them again. But yeah, for New Metal Monster, that second stage is pretty stacked. Glassjaw's killer. Apex Theory is pretty cool. They're very weird. Mushroomhead, that's another band that I've had the honor of playing shows with. That's a band that if you ever get a chance to see, even if you don't love them, that's a wild show. That's a fun concert to see. And the only other thing that I wanted to bring up was, if you like what you heard on Headspace and you're curious to see or hear some new songs, or I guess not necessarily new songs, but songs that were going to be on the second album, if you go to YouTube, you can actually find Pulse Ultra's final concert. It was shot at Club Soda in Montreal in 2004. It's actually pretty cool. It's professionally shot, multiple cameras, and the sound is actually really good for a live concert. It has a ton of songs off of Headspace, but it does have a couple of new songs. Again, songs that were going to be on the follow-up album. And you can tell they're having a good time. And I had never seen them live, and I hadn't seen any live footage of them. So I was impressed. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing yet, but I will. I watched the first probably 5 songs, and it was really good. I would recommend checking it out. It's real funny. In the first couple songs, these dudes keep climbing up on stage, and, that's not that uncommon. Just, for a rock concert, guy jump up on stage, run around, jump back out into the crowd or something. But at one point, this dude hands the lead singer a sheet of paper. At first, I thought he was asking him to sign something, but I still don't know what it is. And even the singer's get out of here, dude. I'm trying to sing. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's about it. I just was gonna, I think that Pulse Ultra Headspace is a cool record. If you like new metal, if you like alternative metal from, the early 2000s, it's unique. It's something fun. And just wanted to share that I found that concert, their final concert. So if you like Pulse Ultra, you like that album, you like live rock, you should check out that video. But that's about it for this episode of Second Breakfast. Like always, send us an email, breakdownsbreakfast@gmail.com. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got X, we got all the stuff. Come hang out, talk to us. Let us know what you think of this. If you would rather us use this time for something else, and we will, we're going to use this for Danger and I go to some concerts. We'll use this platform to share our thoughts on some live shows, music news that pertains to kind of what we do. That stuff will come up too. But for right now, we're just going to keep going down memory lane, pulling out some stuff, giving you a little more detail on some bands and some albums. So hope you enjoy, and hope you have a great rest of your day.